Hi, Mary Chris. Thank you so much for asking me to answer some of the questions that you have for your assignment. Um, but first, before I start answering your questions, um, I would like to, to uh, reiterate that, you know, I want uh, my face to be seen because, like what I told you, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being, uh, you know, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. Um, so, there's no reason to hide one's face. Um, so yeah, you know. And then secondly, a very important thing that I want to point out is, you know, I'm, I'm able to speak to you because the world has not ended. Just like, what the religious conservatives said before that once gay marriage or same-sex marriage has you know um, you know have been legalized, then it's gonna spell the end of the world, which is not true. um, as a matter of fact, the United States is the 19th or the 20th country who have who has a joint club of uh, the more progressive 19 other countries who uh, have same-sex marriage in their books. So it's not true that magwawakas ang mundo kapag na-legalize na ang same-sex marriage. It's definitely not true. The world has continued to evolve and revolve around its axis, even if you know, uh, people of the same sex could already, get married. Um, One important thing that I would like to point out is, you know, um, you know, in these countries that have same-sex marriage, like the Netherlands is the first one, followed by other countries, and you know, uh, mostly European countries, I think, uh, and Canada, and parts of Mexico also, allow people of the same sex to get married. Uh, what I would like to point out is, you know, we're talking about marriage. When it comes, about you know, what- we're talking about marriage that have the recognition of the existing laws in those countries. Uh, and none of these marriages were performed in churches. So these are basically civil marriages, and not religious marriages because, as you very well know, the mainstream religions are very much against same-sex marriages or same-sex marriage, but it did not stop uh, you know uh, certain states to you know to recognize uh, the rights of people of the same sex to you know to be recognized under the law. So it doesn't again, let's make a difference here. Let's be very clear about marriage in the civil sense and marriage in in the religious sense. So so yeah, the marriages here in America and in those 19 other countries are civil marriages. So to answer your questions, you gave me four questions. So what are the different struggles, difficulties you've faced marriage processes? I'm married to a Filipino man, and he was I was able to marry him here in the United States. Um, you know, through the process of applying for him, a fiance visa, which is one of the fruits of the striking down of the United States Supreme Court back in 2013 of the Defense of Marriage Act. Masyadong komplikado yung ano, but in 2013 the United States Supreme Court decided that um, uh, the states um, the states here in the United States that have same-sex marriage, um, you know, those marriages should be recognized by the federal government and not only by the state. Kasi yung immigration is under the federal jurisdiction. So when that the Defense of Marriage Act was struck down by this U.S. Supreme Court back in 2013. So people of gays who have partners abroad could already bring them here in the U.S. Um, so um, so yeah, with regards to the struggles, no, not really, because you know at least here in the United States, um, there's strong sense of equal rights, equal opportunities, which um, you know the law recognizes. So walang different struggles, difficulties that I've faced. Actually, I filed that petition, and then after 1 month, it has already been approved, and then my fiance was able to get here, in a matter of 6 months. So I haven't really faced any difficulties. Number two of your question is, objectively, are you in favor or not in what's this? Are you in favor or not in favor to have the same law in the Philippines? Why? What are your thoughts on its possible advantages and disadvantages once implemented? So, um, you know, of course, each country is different. Each country is, I don't want to say that, I think it's, well, each country is different, but, I think it is a matter of, should I say, fairness and, mm, I think to answer your question, yes, I am in favor of having same-sex marriage in the Philippines. Why? Because it is now high time to uh, you know to treat everyone with respect, dignity, and equality. Um, so uh, you know the world is evolving. The world is changing. So I think um, you know we would do injustice to people of you know to people who prefers to be with someone of their own gender. To It's unfair if we're going to to deny them the same rights and privileges than that we that the society gives to you know to heterosexual uh, people. So yes, it is a matter of justice and fairness to have you know um, same-sex marriage in the Philippines as well as in other countries. This is not about pushing you know the Western agenda, uh, but it's more about it encompasses uh, you know um, the the universal principle of fairness and dignity. Um, so yes, there should be same-sex marriage in the Philippines. Your third question, as a religion, i.e. Roman Catholic, do you think that modifications must be done as per your religion's beliefs, or should it all mean to be a means of self-expression? From the way I understand your question, um, yeah, the church should evolve with the times. Otherwise, it risks um, you know becoming an irrelevant uh, institution. Um, I'm not really a practicing Catholic, but you know, uh, just like you know in Europe and anywhere else, the declining memberships or declining attendance in Christian churches, uh, you know, is indicative that you know uh, the church is becoming more and more irrelevant, uh, because kasi people would not even really care to go to these churches if they feel so out of touch with its with her teachings and whatnot. Um, so yeah, I mean for the church, I mean the church follows the the people and not the other way around, because the one that gives life to those churches are the people, you know, and 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 if something is not, or if something does not speak to you anymore, then you start to live, uh, whatever it is, whether church or idea or any beliefs or institutions. So for the church to become still a relevant institution or force, to then it has to change and become more reflective of the evolving consciousness, uh, or the evolving collective consciousness that's happening in the world. So, in one sentence, for you, how did love really win? I think what happened is that love did not only win. It's not only love that won, but it's reason and common sense and rationality. So so when same-sex marriage was allowed by the United States Supreme Court, uh, to be valid all over the United States in June 26, I think, of this year, when that decision is a tacit uh, acknowledgement that the church or any religious belief should not have anything to do uh, with with government policies, because the government exists. Um, this the, any government should exist, for for the people and not for any other church or any other belief. The government should protect the minority, from the tyranny of the majority, through enacting laws that would ensure that everyone should be treated with equality and with respect. So thanks again, and I hope I'm able to be of help to you.